What is happening, guys? Martin is back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So guys, I've been doing a YouTube thing now probably about a year and a bit, maybe a year and a half. Been a little bit inconsistent because things change, life changes. But what's happening now more so than ever, I'm finding I've actually got accumulation of quite a few fragrances now. And I've got this particular bin which is just full of fragrances. So yeah, let's have a look and see what's inside this bin just for the second. Some of these fragrances, again, I've not worn for so long, so I just thought I'd have a look and see what there is. I'm not a fan of them. I've not worn them for, God knows when. A lot of them are covered in dust, but I just happened to come across it, so I thought, let me do a quick video on it. Let me know, guys, if you checked out these fragrances before. These are fragrances I had when I was maybe just getting into the game of fragrances, or when I was just more maybe just buying them because they were on sale. I wasn't particularly sure. Some of them I couldn't even remember what they smell like, but it's a bit of a reminiscence, so we'll see what's going on. So this is the first one that's coming out here. This is, I'm assuming this is the old bottle of Zara For Him. So those guys that are aware of it, I've done a review on this one before. I said it's a bit of it's a cross between Old Tomal from Jean-Paul Gaultier without the level of, how could I say, without the level of that pear note, that sort of lipsticky, sort of very bright pear note. It seems to be sort of like it's a nice fragrance. It's a manly fragrance. It still smells like it. It does smell like Old Tomal, but it's just not as necessarily quality dense. And I think obviously it won't last as long. But for what it is though, guys, I mean, this was the old type of bottle, as you can see. Even I think this spray is still working. Yeah, good spray as well at the time. Juice is a bit, it's not as, I think they've refined it a little bit more than what it was then. So this is going back some time. So this is not a bad one, but I mean, it's not even worn now, so it is what it is. Yeah, I think it's probably, a lot of these fragrances, guys, after a while they will start to die out, so just bear that in mind. I mean, I've had this for I don't know how long, and I probably just put it in there and not realized, so I'll try and use that juice up. Next one, CK Into You, Into Him. I've not actually smelled, I think I actually won this one. I think when I was probably about 18, 19 or something, I got involved in some sort of online magazine thing, and they asked me to do some interview about girls, and then they gave me loads of like products. Yeah, smells like alcoholic, guys. It smells very floral. I'm not even gonna get into note breakdown because I don't know it. Maybe there's some sort of amber in there a little bit, but it smells very floral. It smells very light. It smells a bit too fresh for me. And I think CK fragrances are probably usually unisex fragrances. Maybe it's got some lily in there or something like that. It's not really a masculine fragrance, and it's not necessarily even an overly feminine fragrance. But yeah, I can't remember when this one came out. Who knows? Let's have a look. 100 ml. Yeah, is what it is, guys. Have you tried this one out? Let me know. Next one. Okay, this is Ralph Lauren Polo Red. Been a long time, and I think this is actually probably like a more intense version because of the red stripe that's on there. Yeah, so you definitely look at that. Things even gone from it. So you're definitely getting a blast of this type of raspberry sort of smell going on. Yeah. Again, base notes might be some sort of woodsy notes in there, probably some amber. But you're getting this raspberry sort of fruit note coming off the top, which is not a bad one. It's not a bad smell at all. I've actually been complimented. I remember actually wearing this. I've been complimented by it. So it's not a bad fragrance at all, guys. There are a few new sort of flankers of the original that have come out, and I think some of them can even contain coffee and everything else like that. So they have moved a little bit away from this sort of red, sort of bubblegum sort of Ribena smell. But it's still not a bad fragrance. Not bad at all. There's probably even some tonka bean or some sort of musk in there. But hey, check it out, guys. Polo Red, black stripe, not sure what it's called. Let me know, guys, if you got this one on your list. What else is in there? Wow, I've not seen this one for ages. This one is Hollister California. So this was Hollister Wave California, I remember. The smell of it, I do think is actually gone. When I remember getting this one, the color of the juice necessarily looked like this. So I do think, yeah, so you get this sort of blast of this sort of marine, salty, maybe borderline, maybe like an orange note in there as well. I did get quite a few compliments this one. I don't think it was a bad fragrance whatsoever, but yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit sharp to some extent. I'm not sure why, but this one's a real cheapie. I think I only paid like £20 or something in the UK. The bottle as well is pretty useful, and I do know that they've actually moved along from from obviously this one. And I think it's obviously they've got a few flankers and everything else. But let me know, guys, have you ever seen this one before? Have you checked this one out as well? Just having a quick run through, guys. I'm not going to try and make it too deep a video. This is interesting. So this is Zara Blue Hole. Some of you guys have mentioned this one. Clearly, I didn't realize it was even in here. Wow. Okay, so yeah, it's fresh. It's fresh. I've done a review on this one, I'm sure. Notes. It's very clear. It's like a clear fragrance. How could I describe it? It's like nice fragrance nonetheless. It's clean. It's fresh. It's probably going to be definitely a summer fragrance. A little bit sharp with a citric note in there. Probably lemon sort of pledge sort of smell going on. Not bad at all. Like a sort of, how could I say? It's got an apple note in there, which I wasn't particularly a fan of. That's all I remember it by. It does smell cheap to me. I think I bought this because obviously you look at, these sort of personalities. The bottle looks pretty heavy. Doesn't necessarily look too bad, but again, the actual atomizer just looks a bit cheap. Yeah, but obviously it's gone. Yeah, is what it is. For him, again, this one was smell it again. I've done a review on this one pretty recently, guys. Again, this has got like a floral sort of orange note in there. Yeah, so this one, it's still got it. Yeah, it's still going. Quite a bit of juice left in that as well, so I might just keep this one out just for reminiscing if I need to put it somewhere on the shelf. But it's not bad fragrance at all, guys. The new bottles have been slightly modified, but it does have this amber and again this sort of orange blossom note in there. So this is quite a bit of a keeper, to be honest, guys. If you can go and check this one out. I can't even pronounce how. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I do not know how to pronounce it. Let's see if it comes up. There's Moreno. I think I bought this one from Boots back in the day. I've come across the house before, and again, the house is Italian house, quite fresh with fragrances. This one to me smelled a bit like, if nobody knows, I think it's called Jasper Conrad. There's a particular, there's a few fragrances that seem very sort of, it smells fresh, it's aquatic. It's not a bad fragrance, actually. I think I only paid like £10 for it because Boots were just getting rid of them. And I think I've even given some of these away. I bought quite a few of them at the time. It's definitely something to keep with you if you're traveling. It's not a bad fragrance. It keeps you smelling fresh. It's an office fragrance. It doesn't seem to be particularly in your face. Let's say slightly aquatic, with this sort of musky sort of note in the base. It seems to be coming out. Not a bad fragrance at all. I think it's due for the office. I think it was the musky note that put me off. It just didn't seem to really give me too much by way of. It's like a smoothness that I like, and I think it just became a little bit musky and a little bit clingy, and that's what sort of put me off, and that's why it's ended up in here. So that's that one there. Next one. Wow, Lacoste. I don't even know the name of this one. This was just something that was back in the day. Probably bought this from Superdrug back in the day for only like £16 when I don't know how old I was. Probably playing five-a-side or something like that. Let's try and smell this one. Yeah, again, so you're getting this more sort of fresh berry note going on. Not necessarily berry in the same way as this one is quite a bit distinct. This doesn't, I don't want to say it smells cheap, but it is a cheap fragrance. It's not a particularly expensive one. It's okay. I think fragrances have moved on from when this originally came out, but it is, yeah, it's just fresh, like a slightly sort of red, sort of ruby note going on. It's giving you that note there, but it's not really something which smells anything more than maybe like detergent to some extent, or like a fresh, someone just been freshly washed. With this sort of touch of this sort of red element going on from there. Maybe it's a type of berry note, but yeah, these are these ones I don't wear anymore, guys, so that's why they're in here. Interesting enough, Abercrombie & Finch First Instinct. It's been some time since I smell this one. I remember this one had like a sort of like fruit punch sort of thing going on in the opening. Was pretty nice. Let's have a smell of this. See, I think this has actually started to it's started to come, this alcoholic sort of notes coming out, so it does smell to me like it's probably gone out of date. I probably won't be wearing this at all. It definitely doesn't smell like it was when I probably purchased it. So again, storage, guys, can be an issue if you're not storing it in the right place. Fragrances can actually go off, so to speak. You get this like a vinegary sort of alcoholic note coming out, and I can't actually smell the fragrance at all. Yeah, it's pretty much gone. But I do remember, I'm not going to look on it now, but I do remember that there was a type of, I don't know if it's like a rum punch sort of smell or like a fruity sort of rhubarb sort of smell coming on. But I remember that this one had good tonka sort of smell going on. The base was quite a strong level of base, but the opening was quite bright with this sort of fruity note going on. But yeah, It's gone anyway. That needs thrown away. What else is in here? This is interesting. Zara Gourmand Leather. I've touched on this one before. It is one of those fragrances which did smell like Old Smell and it still does. So that's still keeping its scent for me. It smells like Old Smell from Jean Paul Gaultier. And yeah, it's not bad. It's okay fragrance. I mean, again, it's re-released. You can see how much juice I have left in that, so it's not necessarily big on my list, but it's one I paid probably around about £20 for £15 for back in the day. And again, it's in here. I don't really wear it, so that's probably why it's in here. Interesting one. This one was actually pretty good, in my opinion. And this was Prada. Prada, what did they call this one again? I want to say Ormo, but it's probably not called Ormo. It's gone from me. It's gone from me. But it might be called Ormo, actually. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Yeah, you can see how much juice is on there. But now I remember Jerry Fragrance was saying that this is one of the Jerry Fragrance was saying that this is one of the fragrances that you need to get for office fragrances before his fragrance came out. And I can understand that one. This one is pleasant. This one's in your, how can I say, it's not in your face. It does last a long time. I think it's very well made. Now I do have the version of the black version of it, which I think is quite strong on the tonka bean, and I think it's quite heavy in respect of the base notes, where this one seems to be obviously slightly more office friendly, a lot lighter. It's an okay fragrance. It's something you can wear easily in the summer. But again, it seems to be so inoffensive that it probably would be for an office scent rather than something that you'd go out and just necessarily buy for an all occasion sort of scent. So I'll definitely check this one out, guys, if you've not checked it out before. I can't remember the name off the top of my head because there's so many fragrances here, but yeah, it is one of those fragrances. Go and check it out, guys, and let me know. Next one in here, this has only just been put in there now. That's Zara Man Silver, an older bottle of it. I mentioned before, it smells like Gucci Guilty. Is what it is. Nothing particularly special about it. Leave that one alone. This is interesting. So this you can see how much dust is on that. Wow. Jay-Z Gold. So this must have been purchased back in the day. This one to me smelled like a sort of blueberry sort of note coming out from the top notes. Yeah, it's like a blueberry, sweet, ambery sort of warm note coming out. This is it's not a bad fragrance, I don't think. It's just not necessarily one that's particularly high on my list. I think it did come out a little bit in the UK, but there wasn't much promotion really at the time. And obviously he sort of stepped back from his fragrances and everything promoted in that way because he doesn't need to. Guys are, billionaire is what it is. But hey, okay, fragrance, guys, I think you can probably get this on discount now. I think this was probably being sold for like £20 or something from Superdrug from back in the day. But now it just seems to obviously changed a little bit in respect of maybe where I would go with fragrances, but it's not a bad fragrance. So check it out. There's like a blueberry note in there, slightly sweet, with a sort of maybe even like a vanilla sort of note coming out there. So it's a little bit fresh, but this blueberry note keeps some bass in it. This one, last two, and this is Azzaro Chrome. So I think I purchased this one. I can't remember why. It's not one of my favorite fragrances at all. I don't even know what it smells like anymore. It's just one of those fragrances that it smells okay. It's fresh. You imagine like an iceberg sort of smell. That's what it smells like. It's fresh, it's clean. You probably, again, office scent. It's got the citric note going on in there. Maybe like a floral note as well. It's something you could wear probably more to the office, probably summer sort of day. But it's not necessarily anything going on in respect of any base notes from what I can pick up on this one. It seems to be more like a clean, fresh smelling sort of scent. Again, it's sort of washing detergent sort of smell, something that's freshly washed. It's just okay fragrance, but it's not bad. If you can get this on discount, I say give it a smell. I don't think it's a bad fragrance, but I think there's many other fragrances out there where this could be smelt and you wouldn't necessarily notice it. It's okay. It's all right. And the very last one, which I really just was not a fan of, and this is I'm going to read the very last one actually. And this one, CH Carolina Herrera, and this is everybody knows CH Men. I just want a fan of it. Is this one had the leather note in the base? Let me spray this. Everyone was saying, I remember when I got into fragrances and everyone was saying, well, this is one of those fragrances that it smells like candy floss in a leather coat and everything else like that. And then she came out with CH Man Privé, but this was the one that came out before. And I remember people were saying when I was just getting into fragrances, I remember Jerry Fragrance was like, this is one of the best fragrances ever. Some of the fragrance reviews were like, this is one of the best fragrances ever. I smelled it like, this just definitely is not for me. That leather note for me is just too heavy. You do get this element of sweetness, but the leather note, I think, is a little bit there's a masculine sort of note that's coming off from this one. It's a little bit too masculine. For me, it's a little bit too much. borderline chlorine, and I just don't feel like it really works for me and my skin chemistry. I'm just not a fan of that particular leather, sort of heavy leather base sort of note. Yeah, it's okay fragrance, but it's not necessarily one that I definitely will be purchasing. You can see how much juice is actually in there. This is how they've been used. So I probably will just sell this on eBay. This is a 50 ml. Yeah, CH man, this is the original one that was at the time. Some of the other ones Privé I've actually reviewed. I didn't like them, and I actually sold them on. But this one was one that I purchased a while ago and actually just forgot I had it. So that will be going in eBay. So there we go, guys. That was just a quick rundown of some fragrances I don't actually wear. I didn't even know I had any more. A lot of them there, guys. I mean, again, they're going to be going on eBay. I'm not necessarily going to be selling them, so I'm not going to be wearing them anytime soon. So who knows? I'll probably get rid of a few of them relatively shortly. But some fragrances like this one, for instance, if they go off, guys, there's not much you can do about it. You have to throw them away. Don't waste your time holding on to fragrances for the sake of doing it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. I hope that saved you some time and some money. That was just a quick sort of what I could find for fragrances I don't wear anymore. But yeah, it is getting to a point now where hopefully we're going to get some point outside of this lockdown and things will change sometime soon. But hopefully see you soon, guys. Please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Ciao.